everyone, welcome to Eden Secret. It's December and look how frosty it is here. Perfect day to be inside in the warm, in the nice heat, and making some lovely rosebud cupcake soaps. Hope you enjoy watching. So today we're going to be using Pink 201 from Mineral Makeup Ingredients, link in the description box below, and we're also using Velvet Rose and Oud from Soap Supplier. It's gorgeous, gorgeous rose fragrance, very interesting. So we're going to mix our colour in first, and I don't want much at all because these are just a light, a pale pink cupcake. And even though it's frosty, it's very, very sunny. Whenever we get frost, we tend to always have a sunny weather. You know how obsessed us Brits are with the weather. That's because we don't get much sun. And most people in the UK have a vitamin D deficiency. Did you know that? So we're just going to repeat that again to fill up the rest of the cupcakes. So you'll notice this is ready to pipe now. It's nice and thick. The bases only took a few minutes to set up. So this is a great fragrance for doing cupcake soaps quickly. If you have a slow moving fragrance, you have to wait ages for the soap batter to thicken up. Now every time I show a piping video, someone asks if I use a different recipe for the piping. I don't. I actually, what I've poured into the bases and what I'm putting in this piping bag now come out of the same pot. All that you're doing is you're pouring the bases, you're pouring those when the batter's fluid, and you're letting the rest of the batter thicken up to make your frosting. It's really, really simple. So it probably doesn't matter what your recipe is, it'll probably always make good frosting. So what we're going to do here is just pipe round and a little blob in the centre. John's off work today, which is very, very rare. As you can hear, he's got a cold.
It's man flu.
So he's coughing away. The other thing I wanted to mention, I noticed on a few of my favourite YouTubers' videos that right at the beginning, there are the beginning of each video, there are 2 adverts. And I thought if people started adding 2 adverts now to the beginning of each video. Anyway, I happened to watch one of mine and 2 adverts appeared at the beginning, and I definitely haven't added 2 videos. I add 1 at the beginning and sometimes 1 at the end. So I just wanted you to know that I haven't added like 2 videos at the beginning. I just think it's too much. Before long, if YouTube are just doing this off their own bat, obviously they want to make more money. I don't know whether we're going to get any more money for it. But before long, it'll be like the TV where there's 6 or 7 adverts on, you know, in sections on each video, and that would just drive me crazy. I'm sure you probably would feel exactly the same. Of course, they are skippable ads, so you can skip them, which is great. But I just wanted you to know that if there are 2 adverts like that on mine, it wasn't something I did. So I'm just going to continue piping those bases like that. Now you'll notice I still actually got some frosting in my piping bag. I don't want to waste that, so I'm going to squeeze that back into the pot. Get my finger right down in there so I can get all of that out. This piping bag will go in the sink. I won't reuse that now because there's any soap that's still left in that piping bag. By the time I do the next layer, which is going to be pink, that will be much, much thicker than the frosting I'm going to have in this pot. And that will not work out very well when you're trying to pipe. So I'm going to just pour that in there like that. I saw a bit of rose petal in there. And we're going to add a bit of this pink. Now with the next layer, just put a tiny bit in because you don't want the pink on the cupcake base to be a different pink. I mean, you could, you know, that's fine if that's what you want. But for this soap, I need all of the pink to be the same shade. And because I had some batter in there that's thick in the bottom, I want to scrape it off, make sure it's all mixed in with the pink, so there's no white whatsoever in this pink layer. But again, it would be thicker than the soap that you've just poured in, so give it another blend. Just to make sure there are no lumps or anything in there. While that's thickening, I'm just going to wash this, and I'm going to wash my spoon. And then we'll come back and we'll pipe the pink layer. So you'll notice how luscious and creamy and decadent this frosting is, but it's still a little bit too fluid to pipe. So we're just going to leave it a little bit longer until it's ready, and then we'll get it in the piping bag and frost the next layer. And this fragrance, it's so elegant, really, really elegant. It's lovely in candles too. So I've got my pink soap in my piping bag here, and I just wanted to tell you that the safest way to do a 3 coloured pipe on the top of Cupcake is to obviously make your first layer, put the fragrance in, split the other 2 into 2 separate pots, and you don't put the fragrance in your next pot or your next lot of batter until you've piped these. I just find that the safest way. So I've got fragrance in my batter that's in my piping bag, but there's no fragrance in this tub here. Sometimes it's really weird that one colour sets up faster than the other, and you don't want your top colour to set up faster than your middle colour, because when you try to pipe the topping onto your middle colour, it'll be far too stiff and it'll push it just doesn't look neat. So that's the neatest way to do your soap batter colours. Okay, bubble lovers, so now it is time to pipe the pink layer. And I pipe it nice and wide, not just round the centre like this. It looks much, much neater if you pipe a wide collar around each layer. That way you end up with a nice dumpy fat cupcake rather than tall thin cupcake. Weird that, isn't it? Because in life we all want to be tall and thin, but with a cupcake I think it looks much, much nicer and much, much neater if it's dumpy and fat rather than very, very tall. Also, I really liked the top of the, if you saw me do the lychee and peony and the love spell cupcakes, which has been a very popular video actually. I liked the sort of flatness on the top. So rather than pipe this to a point, I'm actually gonna do it a little bit flatter on the top like I did with the lychee and peony, and probably will continue with that. there we go. That's all of our, that's our pink layer on there. They look really, really pretty. So rather than pipe them up to a point, I'm just going to do a circular swirl in the centre. I just think they even look nice like that, but my customers are used to obviously getting a certain weight for the cupcakes, so I do need to put another layer on there, which we'll do once we've added the fragrance to this container and let that thicken up, ready to pipe again. So it is a bit time consuming if you want to do separate layers like this, but it's well worth it because they look fabulous when you're finished. Okay, so our frosting is nice and thick and ready to go. So we're just going to load that in to the piping bag. The great thing with these PME bags is they're reusable. So they will get a bit of colour on them because obviously it's art we're doing here. And obviously they will absorb some colour and they'll get grubbier and grubbier. Even though they're clean, the piping bag absorbs the colour, so you do get marks on them. This is literally the second time I've used this piping bag. Then we'll just tip it upside down, we'll bob it up and down a little bit so that we can get all of that soap down into the bottom of the piping bag, and then give it a twist on the top. If you've been watching me a long time, you'll know that I actually used to use squeezy balls for piping, and it was the stupidest decision I ever made, really. I couldn't get away with using the piping bags because I would end up squeezing soap out of the top, but the way you do it is get all of the frosting down into the bag and then twist the top so that nothing can come out of there. And so what we're going to do here is we're just going to go around like that instead of having a, you know, normally I would go around and then up and pull, but I'm not. I'm just going to go around like this. I just really like the flat top look. We're not going to run out of butter. Got 6 left to do. We're going to be okay, we're going to do it. Probably wouldn't have worked if I'd done it the old way. So that's it. It's now ready for the flowers, the rosebuds. So you want to pop the rosebuds on as soon as you possibly can, because the thicker the soap batter gets, the harder it will be to get those rosebuds in neat. So here we have our rosebuds. These are rose flower tea buds. They're a beautiful colour, but they can be a little bit soft. Very, very delicate petals on them. But they're still okay. They do seem to ship okay. The older rosebuds that I used to use, the dark red, the petals were much tougher and much more substantial for shipping. But the great thing with these is the colour is perfect. It just looks so pretty on top of the cupcakes. That is so pretty, isn't it? I really like this flat look to the top. So we're literally just going to put 3 in the top of every one. Just make sure you push them down a little bit, because you're going to be wrapping them, and the flatter they are on the top, the better they're going to transport. Of course, you can do it any way you want to. This is just the way I like to do it. And they're a nice size, these rosebuds as well. And I have drank them. I've had the rosebud tea and it's quite nice. I don't like it as much as the peppermint, but I don't know what it is about rose. I always feel like it's so good for your skin, and so drinking it, like it'll absorb into your skin. Just zooming in a little bit so you can get a bit of a closer look. Actually, that's the other thing I like about these buds. They've got a little knobble on the bottom which isn't pointy. Some rosebuds have like a pointy stem on the bottom.
Can I borrow you?
In a minute you can. When I finish these.
Oh, is that going to be finished yet?
5 minutes. Men always think.
Electrical.
Men always think when you're here, your work's not important. Their work's the most important.
Can I give you a hand?
No. You'll probably forget what to do from one soap to the next. I'm just putting 3 rosebuds on, but I don't think you could possibly remember that. John's memory is not what it was.
Nothing's what it was. It's all gone downhill fast.
Yeah. It's called age, darling. Three minutes now, maybe. You're going to switch the electric off for how long? Because I am very busy and I can't do without it.
I just need you. I can just pull a fuse. If you can tell me when lights go out. You can. I don't need electric off. I just need a fuse pulling. I reckon. Look at that, all fields have gone green and all trees are still white.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't
Beautiful,
stop.
innit?
No.
Well, you made me look somewhere else.
No.
I can't do,
Keep telling
I
me.
can't place them. I can multitask, but I can't place them in the right position if I'm not looking at them, can I?
What were you looking at when you put?
Plus, I don't want to get soap on my
What
fingers.
were you looking at when you put them ones on?
Why? Because you reckon they're crooked?
You should do like a one, like a 4-leaf clover.
4-leaf clover.
Well, 4-leaf clover is
Bit
supposed to
fork. Supposed to be lucky. I'm sorry, I'm not superstitious at all. I don't believe in anything like that. Right, so I just need some glitter now.
Hey, what's this oil thing doing on?
It's
Are you
on
gonna
because
use
I'm
it?
making
You're going to
soap.
use it or just leave it on all night?
No, I'm definitely using it.
She's going to kill us one of these days. She keeps leaving hot fat on.
It's not hot, it's very mild. It's very... oh no. That's the gold I want.
It's cocked up, haven't you?
Yeah.
There's some yellow there, that'll look alright.
No. Oh, it's got to be this.
Good gold.
It's got to be this sandy gold.
Oh, making me cough now.
It's not. It's not me making him cough. It's his cold that's making him cough, so I don't believe him. Bless you. You better not give me that.
I think. Any man would have been at doctor's by now.
Not you. I mean, even if you were dying, you wouldn't go to the doctors, would you? You'd be one of those blokes that dies because he didn't go to the doctors.